Grand Rising Soul Fam. So according to the Gene Keys, right now we are in Gene Key 29, and this in the I Ching or in the Tao is number 29, the Abysmal. And I wanted to share today from the Tao Oracle by Deva Ma Padma a little bit more about this energy right now, just to add a little bit more awareness on some ways that we may be feeling. So a couple keywords: danger, insecurity, overwhelm, unpredictability, hazardous conditions, dark emotions, facing fear, and courage. Beautiful little waterfall there. And yeah, let's grab our carnelian to anchor in these energies with us. Again, this is from Ma Deva Padma's deck, the Abysmal. The Abysmal represents danger. No matter what direction you turn, there seems to be some difficulty, and it's often too late to make out just what that difficulty is. Matters are made worse by a persistently increasing deluge of problems that result in your belief that life is unfairly dumping on you. It can feel a bit like being pummeled by an unending torrent with no let-up in sight. There's nothing abstract about the danger, and it's not just a drama or imagination. But the very nature of this time is that you'll feel uncommonly uncertain about how to deal with whatever it is. So all the right ingredients are in place to generate fear, confusion, and panic. But whatever circumstances have come together to contribute to the current situation, it is of critical importance not to let your emotions take over. Panic has a way of feeding more panic. Confusion has a way of creating more confusion. And all this together can create a vortex that throws you right away from the very center where you need to be standing in order to cope with the situation at hand. In fact, times of danger always carry the potential to reveal the inner resources and courage that form the foundations of a life well lived, of a life well and truly lived. It is courage that allows us to go beyond our learned and habitual modes of behavior and tap into the qualities that transcend the boundaries of the known and familiar. Thankfully, we don't often find ourselves in dangers that are not of our own making, but when they do arise, it is wise to remember the extraordinary opportunities that they bring. It is time to assume the way of the warrior. Let's take a deep breath and say that again. It is time to assume the way of the warrior. Until the danger is past, devote yourself to dealing only with what is essential. Giving in to the temptation either to run away or to run blindly into battle without first being centered will only make matters worse and prolong the pain and confusion. Fear, when we're able to observe it dispassionately, is a powerful energy that can be used in the service of focus and centering. The skillful warrior is able to harness this energy to bring sharpness to all his senses and decisiveness to all his actions. Thus, he is able to respond in the moment to what each moment brings. If the way of the warrior seems too harsh for your sensibilities, then try the way of the cat. Aware and alert with a subtle certainty that's able to be utterly still and patient while waiting for the right moment and then springing to life with perfect timing. But whatever the way, it is the crystal clarity of awareness that will enable you to cut through all the distractions and go straight to the core of the danger. Gradually, you'll come to see that whether the dangers are internal or external, the best course is to continually return to a place in the center that's not swayed by emotions or prejudices. I like to say, it just is. That's what justice is. That's what I've learned from Libra. By weighing all things in the balance, you can develop an impartial and open-minded attitude that will persevere through anything. So bottom line, here are the changes. Number 1. It's possible that this particular encounter with danger might be a washout before it's even begun. Take a look to see if you ignored any signs leading up to the present situation that might have alerted you to what was coming. Sometimes the mind, when it has strong investments in its own desires, prefers numbness to being alert. If you find this is the case, it's not too late to take a distance and watch what's happening as a result, learning from it what you can. Line 2 may be felt in partnership. The dramatic gesture is not always the most effective one. Sometimes the best way to surmount a danger is to take a small, careful step, one at a time. It might sound ponderous if you're the impatient type, but slow and deliberate progress is much more satisfying than banging your head against the wall, even if you could manage to do it with panache. Line 3, maybe in the network. Even when the fear is harnessed and the panic dispelled, there are times when the terrain ahead is still shrouded in a mist, not of your own making. If this is the case, best to trust and wait for the sun to come out and clear the air before proceeding. Line 4. A good measure of self-observation during times of danger helps to bring about the inner clarity that's essential to deal with all the elements that are operating in the environment. Otherwise, you risk becoming distracted by subjective emotions, preconceived ideas, or concern with how you appear to others. Hence, you fail to see the objective reality. Line 5. When you've been up to your neck in a flash flood without knowing how to swim and somehow mastered the panic and pulled yourself onto the safety of a protruding rock, it's okay to congratulate yourself. It is not, however, a time to stand up on the rock with a megaphone and declare yourself master of the world. The water will recede soon, and you will have embarrassed yourself with pretense. So smile at the temptation and move on. Top line, line 6. One of the mind's favorite activities is to set up a non-stop series of dramatic twists and turns in every effort to divert the energy away from turning in and taking responsibility for actions that have not been effective in dissolving our problems. Every step out of turmoil begins from within. If you haven't been there lately, it's time for a visit. Here is the card. Again, the abysmal. The abysmal may sound to some, or may have a belief system like, oh my gosh, that's abysmal, and there's a judgment around it. But it's just the abyss, the unknown, the void, the uncertainty. And for a lot of us, that's actually where the magic is. Sending you so much love with this energy.